but we get dive bombed by this Rotax cart. In the next lap he tries the same thing in the same corner and fails again. Our buddy has already tried to overtake us twice and he was clearly not happy because in the next corner he did this. Hey guys, what is up? Red Actions here and welcome back to this brand new video. And today, as you can see, we are back in Germany at Michael Schumacher's car track in Kerpen. Yes, the next round of the Dutch T4 series will be here next week already, so this will be the week before the race. And we're here with T4 to test the engines because, as you guys knew, there were quite a bit of problems last time around. We did manage to find a whole lot of problems, so yeah, let's see if adding some new parts and repairing everything, if that worked. Anyways, we are back here in this beautiful German circuit in the forest. So let's not waste any more time and let's get everything ready. Alright, this thing is ready. First time firing it up now after the big service. So yeah, let's see if it works. I don't know. I think it worked. Let's get ourselves ready now, then we can go out on track. Welcome back to Kerpen, guys. It has been ages since we have last been here and I have to say, it's good to be back. Like I said, this track is full of awesome history about famous drivers, as well as the track itself just being awesome. Its fast, dangerous and old school layout make this track a true challenge for both drivers and their machinery. Let's see what a lap of this track is like. We start out with a right hand kink which is easily flat in all karts, before braking hard for turn 1, the first of only 2 real right-handers of this track. A downhill left-hander with a late apex follows, after which we go uphill again, keeping it to the right to open up this 90-degree left-hander. The next section is very tough on your kart as you take curb after curb after curb. This is all to set up this fast left-hander, which in turn is just a setup for this next chicane, which ends in a left-hand hairpin onto the back straight. Tillotson T4 engine carries us up to speeds of up to 100 kph on this very wavy back straight. Next up, Bravery Corner. Keep your right foot all the way down, take some curb and let the kart flow into the famous Schumacher chicane. Take every curb, brake earlier than I do here, rotate the kart, get on the power and do it all over again here in the German forests. Due to the old school layout, elevation changes and forest, this track is sometimes called the Nürburgring of karting. No wonder this track produced some of the greatest F1 drivers the world has ever seen. Even Mick Schumacher used to race here until not that long ago, and the track actually used to be owned by the Schumacher family. Michael actually came back here on multiple occasions to race in various karting races, just for fun. What a mad lad. By the way guys, I've just launched channel memberships. If you enjoy the content and want to support me more and get some cool perks in return, consider becoming a member. Some of the perks include cool emojis, early access to new videos, and also some exclusive content. No, not OnlyFans. Have a look around, maybe there's something in there for you. You can find it in the pinned comment and in the description, so definitely have a look around. But where were we? The track was really slippery for the first session. So much so that I decided to add quite a bit of front end grip by making the front track width wider. This makes the inside rear wheel pick up more on turn-in, whilst keeping the back end more calm in the mid-corner. It worked and we started improving our lap times. I also started taking some curbs to eliminate oversteer in various corners, and to my surprise, this also worked. I started taking the curbs in turn 3, 5 and 9. This eliminated basically all oversteer, which is clearly visible on camera. Also, fun fact about this track. If you mess up turn 5, your top speed at the end of this back straight all the way here is also messed up. This is because turns 5 to turns 10 are just one big sequence of connected corners. At the end of the session we got our lap time down to a 53.5, which is about a second faster than in session 1, so that was a pretty good improvement. Alright then, first 2 sessions are now done. And I have to say, it's
quite different in this thing compared to a Rotax around here. Yeah, just the lines in the middle sector are very different to what I'm used to. We have to take a lot more curb actually, which is something I did not expect. I'm still searching a little bit with the setup because the kart felt like shit in the first session and a lot better already in the second session. I went a little bit wider on track width because I just found that worked better. I don't know why, but that's just the way it is. Also, a thing that happened was that my carburetor came loose, which is my own fault. You can see that it leaked right here, and here you can see some more residue from the leaking. Oops, it's fixed now though. Also going to go 2 up on sprocket because I'm nowhere near the rev limiter, which is also something I didn't expect. Let's change that sprocket first. Alright, we've made some setup changes, bigger sprocket, a little bit more track width at the rear because I felt like I should try that. Also different tire pressure because, well, I think going higher is better. I tried low in the first 2 sessions, but I think higher is better, so we'll just find out. And also my carburetor is now put on properly, so I hope the engine runs a little bit better. So yeah, let's go out there and see what it does.
The next session started off well with us getting brake checked on pit exit, which made my bumper come loose. It was scraping on the floor, so I had to come back in and fix it. A few laps later we encountered the brake checker again, this time causing another interesting situation. A little bit later the sun had decided to come out a little bit more, which definitely helped the lap times. The Maxxis tires we are using are very sensitive to temperature, and the warmer it gets the better they perform. We were now comfortably able to run 52.8s, mostly down to the sun but also our different sprocket. After a few laps I tried lowering the tire pressure, but this did not work and we were now slower by quite a big margin. For the next session we again went out on higher tire pressure, set a lap, come in and go slower. I think it's safe to say that we learned that higher tire pressure was better in this case. There is really no way of knowing this beforehand, and finding the correct tire pressure is just a matter of making an educated guess and trying everything that is within the reasonable range of that. And sometimes the correct tire pressure even goes beyond the reasonable. Karting can be very strange sometimes.
Alright, 2 more sessions done and dusted. I feel like we're heading the right way. Also the different sprocket was definitely a better decision. It pulls a little bit better out of the corners, and in top speed, well, we've pretty much been unchanged. So yeah, we get the same top speed as with a smaller sprocket. After this we're going to switch to my different engine. I hope that one's faster. It has been faster in the past, so let's just hope that. And something else that's really special here, the restaurant, because not only does it have amazing food, but like I said, this is also the track where Schumacher, Vettel and yeah, more F1 drivers grew up. And in the restaurant they have paid homage to that. I'll show you. Alright, so we're now in the restaurant. You can see behind me, very cozy, very German as well. But everything here is covered in pictures of Schumacher and Vettel. Here we can see Wolfgang Graf Berger from Trips. One of the corners here is named after him, and he did a lot for this track in the past. And here we can see pictures of Vettel, him being here, him being in F1, everything, and these are all historic trophies. So yeah, this place just breathes history. If you ever have the chance of driving or just visiting here, definitely do so. And right now it's more alive than ever. They have just invested a lot into improving the facilities here, new restaurants as well. Really good. You should definitely come here. Another reason why I like Germany. This is fucking awesome. He chose to be healthy. Good food, good content, good company. Alright guys, we filled up our bellies with some nice German food. In the meantime, I've also switched to my other engine. I hope this one is faster. Yeah, if this one's faster that would be nice, because that would mean that we have a good race engine. I might also be getting an engine from the team, I don't know yet. I hope so, at least. But yeah, let's just see if this is an improvement, because we'll go out on track again in a few minutes.
For the next session I decided to focus on the carburetor. Like I said last session, karting is all about trying. I happen to own 2 carburetors for Tillotson T4 and I wanted to know which one of mine was the best. I have been learning a lot about carburetors for both T4 and Rotax recently, and I want to dive deeper into setup. Before I can do that, however, I need to know which one of the 2 is the best. The best way to do this is to put both carbs on the same setup and test both of them within the same session. So I set off to set a lap time with my first carburetor, but we get dive bombed by this Rotax kart. He overshoots the corner and we can do a nice little switchback. The Rotax Max kart that the other guy is using has nearly double the power, so overtaking me shouldn't be a problem. In the corners he was way too slow however, so he had great difficulties with passing us. In the next lap he tries the same thing in the same corner and fails again. Our buddy has already tried to overtake us twice and he was clearly not happy, because in the next corner he did this. We gave him the international sign of friendship and carry on. In the end we set a lap time of 53.0, somewhat compromised by our shenanigans with that Rotax. We then switched the carburetor in the pit lane and go back out. This thing definitely felt faster and we were able to set a lap time of 52.7, which is 3/10 faster. However, I think that our first run was compromised by the incident. For the next session I wanted to compare our speed to some other T4 drivers who were present that day, so we start following the 322, but it was pretty clear that we had a speed advantage. We did seem to lack a bit of acceleration, but on top speed we were more than good. So even though the 322 was slower than us, we still got a little bit smarter and found a weakness in our lap times.
Alright guys, 2 more sessions done. So we tested some things with the carburetor, we swapped it mid-session and this one's definitely better. So yeah, I now know what to do in terms of setup. I felt like it just was a little bit faster in the higher revs especially. We now were able to set a 52.7 whilst we also had traffic and no slipstream this time. So we're definitely improving. One thing I do notice however is I think we need to go one down on the sprocket. We need to go to a 71, but I don't have one of those. So I'll just leave it at 72, but then we know it for the race. So let's just finish off this day and try to find some more time in ourselves. I feel like we've kind of hit a wall. I don't think we can go much faster than a 52.7. Maybe if we get lucky with traffic and with slipstream we will be able to go faster, but let's just go for it I guess.
For the final session today we were finally able to string some good laps together. We could set a lap time of 52.3, which was definitely the best we did all day. Enjoy the hot lap with no music and no commentary.
Alright guys, I'm all changed back. Last session was done, was a little bit of a scary moment we had with Tony Kart, but he came to apologize, so that's very nice, so shout out to him. I think we ended the day on a pretty good note. I was a little bit tired in the end, but we did manage to set 52.3. Overall I think we made some solid progress and let's just hope that we are fast enough for next week. I definitely think the engines are better. We do need to find still about 2 or 3 tenths in the driving, but that should be no problem I think. And yeah, good day. Let's tear this thing down, but we have something special because the day's not over yet. Yeah, we're eating at the Schumacher restaurant again because it's very cheap and very good. I'll show you what we have. This is very nice. So I have a spicy pizza, but I think now I have to dump my girlfriend because she's doing pineapple on pizza. By the way, I'm not sponsored, but this iced tea is very good. I like it a lot. Well guys, food was nice, had a good day as well. I think we gained some knowledge about setup, about driving. But also guys, with that comes the end to this video. If you enjoyed that, consider hitting those like and subscribe buttons. You really help me when you do that. 2 weeks ago we had our first race of the season and that didn't go so well. Go check out the video, it's on screen right here. This video is done, I'll see you guys next week. Bye bye.